Hello, everybody, and happy holidays. I even have my fun holiday background you can see here. So I am so excited to be coming to you live in another edition of Authority Marketing Live. And today I have a very special author who has written a book that every single person who has ever had a job ever should read, especially now when things are just kind of topsy-turvy. The holidays are here and there's just a lot of stress. So we are going to have the author Massoma Alam. She's going to be on live with us talking about her book, Take Your Lunch Break: Helpful Tips for Relieving Work-Related Stress. And I know that I have work-related stress, and I'm sure that you do too. So before I bring her on, though, I just wanted to say that if you have not grabbed your copy of basically it's the ultimate book marketing checklist, then I want to make sure that you get it. It is right here at vipdigital.live/checklist. You can grab it. You will get your ultimate book marketing checklist so that when next year comes around in a whole week and a half, you can feel ready to start marketing your book. Okay, so ready? Here is the author of the day, Massoma. Hi, Massoma. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you, Melanie?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So let's dive right in. First of all, can we see what the cover of your book
Oh,
looks
yeah, sure.
like? Oh, there it is. I love that.
Ooh.
Take your lunch break. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some
Oh, yeah,
exciting.
my 2 kids are here, and I don't have a babysitter today, so bear with me.
Oh my gosh, my 2 kids are here too, and I
Awesome.
never have a babysitter because it's
Fun.
the holidays.
Yeah,
Yay!
exactly.
Um,
So,
so what inspired you to take a lunch break or to
uh,
tell other people
yeah.
that they need to take a lunch break?
So I never took my lunch break. I always ate at my desk. Everybody at my work did, the boss did. And sure, there were a few days where we would go but mostly like 90%, we would sit, eat while we're still working. And I don't know why. It just felt like it was so common. Like almost everybody I talked to, it was like, well, I just keep working, working, working. And I feel that if I do take my lunch break, I'm going to be less productive, or I'm going to look on as like lazy, or I'm going to look on as like I'm not doing my work. And so I started researching about it. And actually, there's studies that prove that if you do take your lunch break, you have an increase in productivity and focus and life satisfaction, and actually you're more likely to recommend that job to others. And so I thought that was very interesting that just taking like a little break in the day, break up your day, um actually makes you more productive.
Okay, and speaking of productivity, can you bring whoever it is that's kind of
She just
upset?
ran away, but next time she does come,
Okay, bring her on because she can be part of this conversation too.
definitely she would love to be.
So I love what you said about there's this workplace
Yes,
culture of
yes, culture, yeah,
don't eat lunch and enjoy it.
yeah,
And I know that my first job out of college,
yeah,
they let us take an hour and we
yes, great,
and I
great.
loved it. And I used to, this is probably against what was in your book. I
Yeah,
would go home and I would take a 40-minute nap and
no,
then
that's
I
great.
it
No,
was
that's
calming.
great. So it doesn't necessarily mean eating.
Right.
Take a lunch break just means
Exactly.
take a break, whether you're taking a nap is excellent, I think, during the day, and just taking some time just to like, disconnect from work, whatever that may be.
Right. But then every other job I had,
Yeah,
job that
right,
not owning a business like I do now,
right.
every other job, nope. You
Yeah,
don't eat, you just eat lunch at your desk.
yep.
And if you didn't eat lunch at your desk, it
Yes.
was like, what's
Everybody look at you. Yeah, exactly.
so how do we get out of this terrible, this
Yes.
terrible cycle of people wanting to be more productive, so they want
Yeah,
to take a lunch break, but they can't because
yeah,
everybody's going to look at them and say
yeah.
you're lazy. How do we get out of that?
It's tough. That's really tough, and I think honestly it has to start with leadership, um, because everyone, they set the culture, they set the mood, they set, so if the leaders recognize like, okay, my, employees will actually be happier, they'll work better. If I take my break, then my employees will be feel they're allowed to take their break, then it can set that culture. If your boss is not like that, then I would let your work speak for itself. Like sometimes you have to set those boundaries at work and say, okay, like sure, maybe you don't have to take an hour break if that's really like, oh no, you could take a 30-minute or even 20 minutes. Just get up, walk around, like, get some fresh air, eat your food mindfully, whatever, just turn your laptop off if you can. And it starts small. If you do it, then maybe your coworker will do it, and maybe some other coworkers will do it, and then maybe you can change the culture of your workplace. But sometimes, if your work speaks for itself, if you're still getting your work done and you're still meeting your deadlines, like I think people will really realize like, okay, if she's taking like a 30-minute lunch break, like it doesn't make a big difference.
And let me ask you, is it harder for people who work remotely to take time for lunch? There isn't
Yes. So,
any of sorry, let me finish.
oh, go ahead.
I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
there isn't like a boss looking over
Yeah.
your shoulder,
Right.
but it's almost like you just end up sitting in the same place for even longer.
Mhm.
So I'd love your thoughts on that.
So I think it's actually, I think, easier to take your lunch break remotely because you're right. You don't have a boss looking at you, you don't have coworkers looking at you. So you can still have your, all Slack on or Google, like it can look like you're still working, but maybe you can take your lunch break. However, the people do tend to work longer hours and longer working remotely. That is true because the lines between home and work are like blurred now, and people tend to keep their email on. They are emailing or on their phone, they're emailing back at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. I've been seeing that. So people are working longer, definitely being remote. But I think it does make taking your lunch break a little easier though.
Interesting, because I don't even take a lunch break, but I
No,
think
you've been working remotely?
even working remotely, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm also always
Mhm.
dieting, so I always have a
Mm.
bar with me, but, like, I sit, eat the bar, and type
Yeah.
with the other hand.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I do take a coffee break to go
Yeah.
downstairs and get
Yes.
coffee, but I don't drink it downstairs. I drink
Yeah.
it.
See, that's not really a break, is it?
No, it's not a break.
No, it's not. It's just like, yeah, coffee breaks are great too, like just little pick me ups, like little bit, or even if you close your eyes for 20, 30 seconds, like, okay, I'm not leaving my desk, fine, but I'm just gonna close my eyes and lower that stimulation, give my mind and my just a rest so that I'm not bombarded with all this information. I get overstimulated and stressed and anxious, like few deep breaths and just close my eyes. Just like, okay, set even a timer. I'm like, I can't do it. Okay, 20 seconds, set a timer, 1 minute. 1 minute, you can do it. Just close your eyes and deep breaths. Nice deep breaths from the diaphragmatic breathing from your belly. And like you'll feel like, okay, I'm rejuvenated, I'm rest. Like, because you're gonna perform better, you're gonna work better when you're calmer. When
Mm.
you're like high state anxious, like you'll make more mistakes, you'll be just like high strung and you're just so like anxious that you can't focus, you can't get your work done in like a proper calm way. So if you need to do that for yourself, do it.
And, we need you to be kind of sitting on our shoulder every day. So I guess that's where your book comes in, right?
Yes.
So you said you started doing research about it, and then
Yeah.
eventually, I guess it became a book. So
Yes.
how does the book sort of dovetail with what you do as your job?
Yeah. So it started off as like I had anxiety for like 9 years, like diagnosed generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and through those 9 years, I was trying to find a fix, a solution to cure my anxiety, and I tried a lot of things, a lot of different therapies. I read a lot of books, a lot of self help books, and then what started working for me, I felt like, oh my god, I got to share this with the world, and it wasn't like my own stuff. Like I read the book Dare, and so I did a TEDx talk, and I shared like two books that really helped me: Power of Now and Dare. It's just like called Dare: The New Way to Respond to Anxiety or Panic. I'm not saying that correctly, but the book is called Dare. You can find it on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, whatever. And I actually interviewed that author for my book, and so he's in my book. He also gave me an early praise quote, which was an insane moment. Like this guy's book that literally cured my anxiety now is in my book, and he like loved my book, and he gave me an early praise quote. So that was like an amazing moment for me, for sure. Barry McDonough. And so I did the TEDx talk to share those resources, because I was like, I gotta just tell the world, like, this really works. This really works. And so obviously TEDx talk is like 10 minutes. So then I was like, I have so much more to say. I have all this research. Like, I want to share this and gear it towards the workplace, because I am an industrial organizational psychologist, which is like business psychology. And so I study human behavior in the workplace. And so I just like meshed those two worlds together, like my experience with anxiety, and then my education with business psychology. And that's how Take Your Lunch Break was born. And so it's like filled with research, like evidence-based strategies, filled with personal interviews and my personal story. So there's like stories from a lot of high performing leaders and what they did and how they did it. And it's good, I think, even for bosses and managers to read, as well as employees who are feeling stressed. It talks about burnout and coworker relationships and a lot of different topics to do with work-related stress.
That's beautiful. So what
Thank
kind
you.
of marketing have you been doing?
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like marketing was really tough. It's hard. Like, I went through a hybrid publisher, so New Degree Press. So basically they helped me publish my whole book. I was in a program called the Creator Institute, which is amazing, highly recommend. But once the book was out, it was like, here, these are things you can do, you should do, you can do, but it was all on me. And so it was a lot of work. Like, I love Instagram. Like, I feel like it kind of comes easy to me. So I like market, I guess, a lot on Instagram, and I did like a lot of Amazon ads as well. So that was like, it was good. It was helpful. Like, I did fairly well on through Instagram, because I sold a lot of pre-sale. Like, in my pre-sale campaign, I sold a lot of copies. I raised a lot of money, and so it did well, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It is. And that's why I do what I do as a strategist for books, because it's true. A lot of you get the book published, and then you really are on your own. So, okay. So who do we have here?
Oh, Rayan, you want to say hi?
Come say hi.
This is Rayan, my son, and he's dressed up as Jack.
Oh, hello. Oh, nice to see you. Yay.
Hi.
Yeah, hi, cutie pie. Are you proud of your mom? She's got a really cool book, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to hold it up for us? Yeah.
Is this Mama's book?
Thank you, sweetie.
He's so sweet. When he first saw it, he's like, Mama's book, Mama's book. So sweet.
That's the best marketing there is.
Right?
Okay. So, Massoma, how can people find you and get your book and all the things? Is it just
right there, Massoma with 2 A's at the end .com. I'm on Instagram, same thing, Massoma, 2 A's. LinkedIn. My email is massoma.alam, ALAM, @gmail.com. But yeah, my website, all of that information is on my website.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Great, and thank you so much for having some extra special guests join us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Amira's here too.
Oh, hello.
She doesn't have her bow on, so she looks like a. Say hi. Can you say hi?
Hi. Okay. Can you hold up Mama's book for us?
I'm gonna hold up Mama's
book. Awesome. So it's called Take Your Lunch Break, and you can go to me.
You can find it on Amazon, BarnesandNobles.com, anywhere where you can find books.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful day.